Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out the RF25 mobile freezer, which is a 12 volt cooler. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we have. Okay, when you first open it up, you'll find a good sized piece of styrofoam on top. And then the cooler. There is nothing else in the box, so all the accessories are probably going to be in the cooler itself. Okay, before even trying to open this up or look for a manual or anything like that, here are some of the things that I think about this cooler. First of all, I like the finish, the kind of like the matte black. It does have the Android and Apple QR codes to download the app. I did not know this, but this can actually be controlled by an app. So we'll definitely have to download that and try it out. On top, it does have kind of like a dotted finish right here. So you can set stuff on there and it won't just slide around. On the front here, we have our display. It looks like power, settings, and then up and down, very simple. And then we also have these tie down straps right here. So you can actually tie this down. We have a DC 12 to 24 volt plug down here at the bottom. And we have a handle right here that's built into the unit. So it's not like a handle that flaps up and down. It's actually built in. On this side is another vent for the compressor. And it looks like another handle. So the lid can be reversible is what I believe. This side is a couple more strap down areas and then another built-in handle. And we are back to the front. Right here is a clip-on lid, and I believe, yeah, this whole thing just comes off. So if you wanted to, you could turn it around and close it from that direction. So it's not like a universal, you clip them both off, but you can turn the lid around with no problem whatsoever. Okay, looking inside, what I first see is here's an accessories box, and there is this divider right here, which you can fill up with water, it looks like. Yeah, you can unscrew this, you can unscrew that cap and fill it up with water, so that will actually keep things either cool or frozen, which is that's a nice little feature. And I like how it can make it, it's also a divider as well. And they actually have a food temperature guide right here for water, drinks, juice, red wine, fruit, vegetables, prepared food, meats, seafood, and quick frozen food. And it tells you the recommended settings in Fahrenheit and in Celsius, which is very nice. It does have some warnings and troubleshoots right here. This is, I believe, a 25 liter cooler, and it does have a small little area right here as well. The lid latches down very nicely, and it's easy to open. It's a spring-loaded lid. Let's go ahead and get the measurements of this real quick. It's about 24 inches in length. The height is 14 inches, and the depth is about 13.5 inches. And that does include the tie-down straps right here. And the weight looks like to be right at 23 pounds. So this thing is not really that heavy at all. All right, let's go ahead and see what's inside this accessories box. All right, we have our energy guide right there if you want to pause the video and take a look at that. And then on the other side, we have our user's manual. On the bottom here as well, it does say that there is a 3-year warranty on the product. And then we also have our different plugs for either plugging it into the wall AC outlet or a 12 volt plug right here. You can plug it directly into your DC plug in your car. All right, well, I want to do a simple test on this before showing you how to do the app and the controls on the front. And I really want to know, without ever plugging this thing in before, how much energy it's going to use to get down to its lowest setting by monitoring it on a like an energy monitor on this Blue Eddy, and this Blue Eddy is at 74% right now, so hopefully that should be enough. And we're going to be using the AC outlet, because when you have a 12-volt cooler, the best way to do it is to plug it into your AC at your home first. Get it all pre-cooled for like an hour so it's all nice and chilled, and then unplug it, turn it off. Well, put all your stuff in it, unplug it, turn it off, move it to your vehicle or your mobile application, plug it in with the and then plug it in with the DC plugs. And then that way you don't waste all that battery energy or your power station energy by cooling it off again. It should already be pre-cooled. Make sure and follow those steps to, be able to have the most runtime possible on your power station. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in, plug it into the Blue Eddy. It powers on for just a second and then the display turns off again. So let's go ahead and turn this on. Okay, it's set at, right now it's set at Bluetooth, max, medium for the battery level, and set at Fahrenheit. Let's go ahead and bring this all the way down, because I'm gonna bring it all the way down to, I think it goes down to maybe -4. We'll see. -4, there we go. It's set at -4. Let's turn this on. And right now, at the very beginning, it is using around 30 watts. But this monitor will show what the high and low wattage was, how long it kind of took, along with this clock, and the total amount of watt hours or kilowatt hours. So I'll be back as soon as this gets down to temperature. All right, well, the time is now 44 minutes and 55 seconds, not quite 45 minutes, and we just reached -4 degrees Fahrenheit. So right at 45 minutes is how long this takes to go from room temperature, and since we're in a basement, it was a little bit cooler, but 63 degrees, all the way down to -4. All right, and you're probably asking how much energy that took. Let's go ahead and look. It took, oh my gosh. Okay, it took 31 watt hours to cool this all the way down to -4. And then the highest wattage amount that it pulled was 46.5 watts. So this thing is very consistent on the amount of wattage being pulled from your device. You don't need a huge power station. You just need something with a pretty good amount of amp hours in the capacity. So I am very happy with how efficient this cooler is. I mean, you gotta think 31 watt hours, and this thing was running constantly for 45 minutes. Now, you gotta think, once this thing gets down to temperature, and usually, well, I shouldn't say usually, me personally, I'm not gonna be running this at -4. So it'll get down to temp, and then it will shut off until it rises up a little bit and needs to cool itself again. So the 31 watt hours is probably what you're gonna be using every hour. So if you have a 500 watt hour power station, you can expect to get 10 hours of runtime. And with that, just in case you're wondering, this Blue Eddy AC50B, which has a 448 watt hour battery capacity, went from 74% to 65%. So it used 9% of the total capacity of the battery. Okay, now I'm going to show you exactly how to install the app if you're hesitant about it. And we're going to go ahead and do this in real time. So let's go ahead and put my phone on the screen. And let's do this in real time to see how easy and how long it actually takes. So I'm going to go ahead and pull down my systems and go to scan QR code. And I will scan the Android QR code and hit open link. This connection is not private. That's not good. Let's go to advanced and say proceed. And it gives me a huge error. So that was a complete fail by SetPower for their app. So let's go ahead I've opened up my app store and I'm just going to do a search on SetPower. And there is the SetPower app right there. So I don't know why the QR code failed, but sorry SetPower, you got to fix that. Let's go ahead and hit install. And open. It says disclaimer and terms. We'll go ahead and say agree and use. Account login and guest mode. Well, I don't like setting up accounts, so let's just go to guest mode. And we're going to go ahead and hit add device. We will want to use the device location. Allow. And it instantly found the fridge, which is nice. So I'll hit the plus sign. The device fridge is fine, confirm. We do have the RF25, so we'll select that, confirm. And we are in the fridge. So pretty easy, but man, that QR code, that's a bummer. So they need to fix that. But I would highly suggest that if you do want this app, just to go to your app store, whether it be Android or iPhone, and just find it from there. Don't bother with these QR codes. But let's look at the app. It shows that the temperature is currently at 3 degrees Fahrenheit. I do have it, I set it back up to 32 degrees Fahrenheit just to kind of give it a rest. So that's why, and in the middle you can see setting temp is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And that is a slider. Is it a slide? Oh yeah, it's a slider, which you can slide between -4 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Down here at the bottom, there is an on and off button. Right next to that, there's a refrigeration button, and you could actually click it from refrigeration to freeze, so that way you don't have to worry about the slider. And refrigeration actually goes at 39 degrees Fahrenheit, so it has those temperatures well set for freezing and for refrigeration. Max, you can either select max mode or eco mode. Eco mode will use less power, so it'll probably run at like 30 or 35 watts, but it'll take longer to cool your food initially. So usually you want to set max power first, get it down to temp, and then when you're putting it in your RV or your car, something like that, you switch it to eco mode to kind of keep the temp. And then we have more settings right here. And we have our battery protection. If you don't know what the battery protection is, you can click on that little exclamation point symbol, and it tells you exactly what it is. It will make sure that you don't kill the battery in your truck or car or RV. It will monitor the voltage, and if the voltage is too low, the refrigerator automatically shuts off. And then it will start back up once the voltage of your battery gets to another trigger point. So you can see all of those start and stop voltages right here. We also have our temperature unit. You can select either Fahrenheit or Celsius. And then we have the device picture, so you can either pick the RF25 or the RF20. But overall, a very simple app, but it has everything that you need to be able to control this remotely. All right, so what do I think of the RF25 portable refrigerator freezer from SetPoint? I think it's pretty nice. I mean, it's only like 23 or 24 pounds, so it doesn't really need wheels. It's not that big. It does have one power port on the side, but that's why it's nice to have this lid where you can just take it off and switch it around, because that way if you need to have it orientated in a certain direction because of the power, you can just flip the lid, no big deal. I do like the inside with this freezing divider right here, and I never thought about it, but this would actually be good if you filled this with water and then threw it in your freezer or refrigerator overnight to have this nice and cold for when you put it in. That would actually save you some more energy. I like the simplicity of it and that it has an app, even though these QR codes, at least for the Android, it didn't work. So hopefully they get that fixed. In the meantime, just go to your app store if you do want to use the Bluetooth capabilities of this cooler. Another thing is the efficiency. It is a smaller cooler, but still, it only used around 40 watts the whole time it was cooling down, which is pretty impressive. And again, it took about 45 minutes to get it from room temperature, which in here is 63 degrees Fahrenheit, down to -4 degrees Fahrenheit. Some of the things that I wish it did have are mostly on the inside. I wish it had a light. I do like coolers that have a built-in light inside, so that way if you're in the dark, you can open this up and be able to see exactly what's going on. And also, this cooler is kind of small, but you know, if you had a drain plug, that would also be something that might be beneficial to some people. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about the RF25 12-volt cooler from SetPower, please go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'll have a link to this item and everything else I used in my description, just in case you want to look further into it. Thanks again, and have a great day. Bye-bye.